side. Britain and the Allied forces celebrate VE Day as the Axis powers surrender. It took many types of leaders to create this victory.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you a toast.
Some examples of prominent, well-known leaders during World War II include Sir Winston Churchill, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom at the time, or Dwight D. Eisenhower, Supreme Commander for the Allied forces. But our project is focused on a different kind of leader.
Potential leaders are all around us. Given the opportunity, people with the capacity to lead will emerge and perform heroic acts. Alan Turing and the woman who made up the Bletchley Park Codebreakers are an example of people who became critical leaders despite the limitations placed on them by their society. The power of a nation is diminished when its human resources are not used to their fullest. Limiting the power and opportunities afforded to a large part of the population will limit the achievements of that nation. Enabling and empowering people will do the opposite. The examples we present of leaders emerging from day-to-day people are Alan Turing and the female Bletchley Park Codebreakers in England during World War II.
Alan Turing was a remarkable man whom many consider a computer science prodigy. He was a brilliant mathematician, cryptanalyst, and a sharp problem solver. Turing was born on June 23, 1912 in Paddington, England, and spent much of his childhood in English boarding schools with his older brother. While in school, young Alan developed a passion for logic problems and codes, such as crosswords or secret ciphers he and his friends would make. The love of logic stayed with him through grade school and through his life. Alan Turing spent his life as an adult to 1938 as an educator of mathematics.
In 1938, Germany threatened to invade the rest of Europe. Many types of men and even women were called to help Britain protect itself. In particular, a place called Bletchley Park would become crucial to the war effort. In 1939, Turing got a job at Bletchley Park, which was a secret base of intelligence. The huge building and many huts were disguised as a radio manufacturing base. Thousands of ladies went there every day and worked on intercepting German war intelligence radio transmissions. The ladies went to one of 23 huts. Mr. Turing was given a job at Bletchley Park as a cryptanalyst in Hut 8, part of an organization of young men and women trying to break the German Enigma code.
The women of Bletchley, who numbered close to 9,000, were called in from all over the countryside, most after being identified as having the ability to speak and read German. The women were young, some as young as 17, and were assigned pieces of code work in individual huts, outside of which they were unaware of the details of their colleagues' work. 3 of the senior codebreakers included Margaret Rock, Mavis Beatty, and Joan Clark, the last of whom was secretly also a cryptanalyst working for Turing.
An enigma is a message or situation with a hidden meaning, and in the case of the German Enigma machine's code, thousands of encrypted messages were transmitted every day, giving crucial information regarding battle plans. The Germans' code was thought by many to be impossible to solve. For many months, the Bletchley Park women received and recorded messages, while the cryptanalysts analyzed the transmissions and tried to find an Enigma code input that would reveal the German message. But a human can only analyze so much data so fast. Alan Turing believed that he could create a machine that could decipher all German codes, reveal all messages, and potentially help the Allies win World War II.
By the end of 1939, there was a breakthrough. Alan Turing had solved the German Enigma code with his machine, which he called the Christopher. After some further sophisticated statistical processes, the machine could decode the German messages that were intercepted by the Bletchley women. But instead of giving all of the information and codes to the war intelligence, Turing and his fellow Hut 8 cryptanalysts had to be careful with this momentous information. For if the Germans were to hear news of England cracking their code, they would change all codes, and all of the work and hardships the cryptanalysts had gone through would be for nothing. So in order to keep the good news under wraps, Reaction to German war plans, movements, and location to the exact coordinate had to be exercised in moderation, as not to make Allied mastery obvious, but enough to be Adolf Hitler.
But victories were celebrated. In Mavis Beatty's own words,
and then came the message through from the Admiralty at midnight, tell Dilly, we have won a great victory in the Mediterranean, and it's all thanks to him and his girls.
Finally, England and the Allied forces caused Germany to surrender in 1945, and the Second World War was over.
After a dirty war that lasted 6 years, England and its allies defeated Germany. However, without Alan Turing and the Bletchley Park women, the war may have lasted 2 or 3 more years. Despite the war ending, the secrets within Bletchley Park remained secrets. Every paper and letter was burned and never spoken of again. All of the workers from Bletchley Park were required to keep their work secret for the rest of their lives. However, in 2009, some of their surviving codebreakers broke their silence. Finally, their contribution to the war victory has been revealed. Similarly, Alan Turing's crucial contribution to the war victory and the fields of mathematics and computer science have been acknowledged.
In the 1950s, Turing, the professor of mathematics at Cambridge University, was discovered to be homosexual and was prosecuted as a common criminal by the British courts.
Section 11 of the Criminal Law Act Amendment of 1885 made what was labeled as gross indecency a crime in the United Kingdom. It was not abolished until the Sexual Offences Act of 1967.
Turing was sentenced with a choice of 2 years in prison or hormone therapy. Turing chose hormone therapy so he could continue to exercise his mathematical abilities and work on his computing machine. The injections of female hormones he was forced to take gave him female traits and caused depression. In 1954, Turing committed suicide.
Today, Alan Turing is remembered and cherished for his achievements. He received a pardon in 2013 from the British government for the criminal conviction he was given for homosexuality.
On April 14, 2015, in a continuation of Turing's legacy, England extended to thousands of Britons the same posthumous pardon.
Filmmakers in 2014 released an award-winning movie entitled The Imitation Game, about the life of Alan Turing. In honor of his achievement in mathematics and computing, the annual Turing Award is given. It is considered the Nobel Prize of Computer Science.
Alan Turing and the Bletchley Park Codebreakers were regular citizens who were instrumental in winning the war for the Allied forces during World War II. The leadership they demonstrated emerged despite limitations placed on them by society. The legacy of the women codebreakers includes recognition of women as members of the labor force and loyal defenders of state secrets. Most of the Bletchley women went to their grave with their story untold and set an example of putting service to others ahead of personal glory.
The legacy of Alan Turing in the field of computer science and machine intelligence is legendary and without equal. In addition, his life teaches us about accomplishment under adverse conditions, the power of determination, and the injustice of social repression of individuals who are different or unique. As stated by Turing's character in The Imitation Game, sometimes it is people no one imagines anything of who do things that no one can imagine.
A special thanks to Alan Turing and the Bletchley Park women for service to others without any promise of recognition that they deserved. We would also like to thank our parents and family for their support and indulgence. Last of all, we give thanks to Ms. Shook for letting us have the opportunity to participate in National History Day and the inspiration to do so.